Let me spill the tea about trying to sell a house in Florida with power lines right across the street. No, really. Grab your iced coffee, because this story gets wild. I thought I'd seen every kind of chaos after 15 years in this neighborhood, but nothing, and I mean nothing, comes close to the circus that broke out the minute I put my house up for sale. So picture this. You're me, your kids are finally off at college, your wife's got that Pinterest board full of waterfront condos she wants to tour, and you're dreaming about a life somewhere that doesn't smell like lawn fertilizer and sunblock. The plan: sell our place on Mango Drive. Yes, the one with the big, perfectly mowed patch of grass on the other side of the road, under those thick black power lines that buzz when it rains, and ride off into a golden retirement while you still have cartilage in your knees. I never even thought about those power lines. They were just there. You know what I mean. They'd always been part of the view out our front window. Neat grass underneath, city maintained so we didn't have to lift a finger, and mostly just people walking their dogs or local teens trying to impress each other by doing burnouts on the sod. Honestly, sometimes it was entertaining. That's Florida for you. First week on the market, our realtor Shelley is all smiles. She's got her high heels on and her "this is gonna be easy" attitude. House is freshly painted. The orange tree out back is blooming like crazy, smells like heaven, and Shelley says she'll have us packed up by July 4th. But then, right away people start showing up for showings, and every single one does this thing where they pause at our mailbox and squint at those power lines like they're looking at a radioactive snake pit. One guy even takes his phone out and starts using some app to measure electromagnetic fields or something. He wanders around muttering about the grid like he's Nicolas Cage in National Treasure. I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's just that guy. But then offer after offer rolls in, $20K under asking, $30K under asking, always with the same note. Due to proximity to high voltage transmission lines. Are you kidding me? I ask Shelley if this is normal, and she gives me this smile that says, "Welcome to real estate hell." She pulls me aside and whispers about buyer perception and market stigma while checking Zillow on her phone. Meanwhile, my wife is already texting me links for houses in Sarasota. I start Googling everything about power lines, cancer risk spoiler. No one actually knows. Property values, everyone's got an opinion. Minimum build distances, yep, we're well outside it, and lawsuits, dear God. Turns out there are whole forums online where people argue over whether living near power lines will make your hair fall out or your Wi-Fi go weird. But here's where things really take off. My neighbor across the street, Gary, the guy who wears Hawaiian shirts year-round and thinks he invented grilling, he corners me at the mailbox one morning. Gary tells me he heard from his cousin's ex-wife's brother, classic Florida source, that a developer wanted to buy up our block back in 2008 but bylaid because of those power lines. He says he wouldn't live in my house if you paid him. Thanks for the support, Gary. I try not to let it get to me until Shelley calls late one night after another lowball offer comes through. She sounds nervous, like she's hiding something, and finally blurts out that another realtor has been warning potential buyers about health risks from our power lines during showings. Excuse me, who does that? Shelley won't say which agent it is at first, but eventually admits it's Linda from down at Seabreeze Realty, the one who always brings gluten-free cookies to open houses and acts like she's everyone's mom. Apparently Linda has been telling folks they might get headaches or sleep problems if they move into our place. Now I'm mad. I call Linda directly and she puts on her best innocent voice. "Oh, I would never sabotage a neighbor's sale. People just ask questions." Sure they do. Next day I go down to City Hall and demand to speak with someone about these supposed health risks. The city engineer looks like he wants to be anywhere else, but hands me an official letter saying our house is well outside any danger zone, that there are no restrictions or warnings on file. So now I have paperwork proving my house won't zap anyone into an X-Men character, but buyers still seem spooked. That weekend, we host an open house hoping for a miracle. The place is packed. There's a line at the door like it's Black Friday at Best Buy. which would be great if half of them weren't nosy neighbors coming for free cookies, not Linda's, or tire kickers looking for gossip about price drops. Halfway through, some guy with a man bun corners Shelley in the kitchen demanding to know why we didn't mention the giant death cables in our listing description. Someone else whispers about a class action lawsuit against FPL 8 years ago, even though it was settled and had nothing to do with residential properties. The tension boils over when Mrs. Gladys from 3 doors down starts giving her own impromptu tour in MY living room, telling total strangers about how her cousin once got migraines from living near power lines in New Jersey. Shelley tries to keep calm, but by Sunday evening she's texting me. We need to talk about price reductions. Meanwhile, my wife is losing it. She throws her hands up and declares we should just rent out the house instead. She even threatens to move into an RV park if it means getting away from Mango Drive forever. Then Gary shows up again with a six-pack and more unsolicited wisdom. You know what you need? A fence. People don't want to see those wires. He offers to help build one, for cash under the table of course, but I'm pretty sure that would just make things look sketchier than ever. I call Shelley again and ask her straight up if these buyers are serious or just fishing for deals. She sighs loud enough for me to hear over speakerphone. It's not just your house. It's all along this street. Ever since that article came out last year about EMF exposure, people think living near wires is like sitting inside a microwave. She says some buyers will use anything as an excuse when negotiating, but others really believe it'll give them cancer or whatever Google says this week. At this point, every conversation with my wife turns into an argument about lowering our price by another 10 grand or throwing in new appliances just so someone will bite. But then things get even messier. Linda, the same realtor who was spreading rumors, brings her own clients by for a private showing after hours without even telling Shelley first. I come home early from work expecting peace and quiet, only to find Linda unlocking my front door while two strangers poke around my living room commenting on how close everything feels with those lines outside the window. Linda acts shocked when she sees me standing there but recovers quick. "Oh, we thought you'd be gone." Her clients scurry out looking embarrassed, as they should, and Shelley goes ballistic when she hears about it later. Now we've got realtors at war with each other. Linda accusing Shelley of being too aggressive with follow-ups. Shelley accusing Linda of breaking MLS rules, both CCing their brokers on angry emails late into the night. And as all this drama unfolds, the city utility crew shows up unannounced one morning with their trucks blocking half our driveway. Apparently someone reported damage near the base of the poles across from our house. Gee, wonder who. So now there are warning cones everywhere and more rumors flying around Facebook than ever before. A few days later, Gary stops by again, noticing my blood pressure rising, and offers some sage advice. Just tell everyone you get free electricity. Because yeah, lying has worked so well so far. But wait, it gets better. Another neighbor chimes in on next door claiming he spotted arcing between two wires during last week's thunderstorm. And now people are secretly afraid their pets will get zapped just walking across the grass strip below. Suddenly, nobody wants their kids playing outside. Dog walkers give our block a wide berth. Even Amazon drivers start leaving packages halfway down the street rather than risk parking near those dangerous poles. One night I find an anonymous note taped to my front door. Think twice before selling, unseen dangers lurk. Of course it's written in block letters so nobody can recognize handwriting, amateurs. My wife goes full conspiracy mode reading blog posts about EMF poisoning while drinking wine straight from the bottle. And I'm stuck fielding texts from Shelley late into the evening as more buyers drop out or try bargaining us down another 5% over imaginary health hazards. Meanwhile, Linda launches her own counterattack. She lists another similar home nearby, a little further from any visible wires, for $40K above ours with marketing copy boasting no unsightly transmission lines. Subtle as a sledgehammer, right? The fallout hits fast. Overnight we lose 3 interested parties who say they're going with Linda's listing instead because it feels safer. Shelley flips out and calls her broker, threatening legal action against Linda for bad-mouthing our property during showings. Linda denies everything, but suddenly changes her Facebook profile pic to one where she's standing under palm trees, nowhere near any power lines. Now both agencies are involved, brokers arguing over ethics violations while buyers watch from a safe distance, probably behind lead curtains. And if things weren't flaming hot enough, word gets around that Gary has started telling people he suspects buried cables might run under half our lawns as part of some ancient utility easement nobody remembers signing off on back in 1982. Why? Because his cousin swears she heard buzzing noises last time she visited. Never mind she was wearing hearing aids set too high. Before long, there are rumors swirling that Mango Drive sits atop an old transformer graveyard. A story fueled by Randy at City Hall, who thinks every neighborhood needs its own urban legend just for kicks. My phone rings nonstop, texts from random numbers asking if we'll accept cash offers as is. Read. Way below market. Messages from nosy neighbors wanting updates. Did you hear they found chemicals under Maple Street last year? Plus endless spam from solar panel companies promising they can harness all that wasted energy. One particularly desperate buyer tries blackmail, sends us screenshots of Facebook posts threatening negative reviews unless we drop another $25K off asking price for safety reasons. At this point, my wife is packing boxes labeled anywhere but here. In desperation, I post on Reddit asking how much these damn power lines actually affect value, and cue dozens of armchair appraisers weighing in from all over America. They'll knock off 10% minimum. Lived next door for 20 years, never had any issues. My uncle grew extra toes. It's all psychological. Run. Just wait till hurricane season. Every answer makes me feel better, or worse, depending on how much wine I've had that night. By now, Mango Drive is basically split into two warring camps. Team Powerline panic versus Team Chill Out, it's just wires. Gladys starts collecting signatures demanding underground utilities. Good luck paying for that. Gary organizes a barbecue where everyone vents their favorite conspiracy theories. Meanwhile, Shelley keeps sending me spreadsheets showing how much money we've lost since listing compared to last year. If only we'd sold before TikTok made EMFs trendy. To top it off, the city schedules maintenance on all utility poles along our street smack dab during peak selling season. Trucks everywhere, backup alarms blaring before sunrise, orange cones as far as the eye can see. Buyers fleeing showings before even making it past my driveway. Is there an emergency? One asks. I wish. I try bribing city workers with donuts if they'll finish faster, they don't. My wife tries staging fake yoga sessions on our porch hoping someone will think we're zen enough not to care about invisible danger. Don't worry, honey, she tells potential buyers between downward dogs. We've never caught fire. No one laughs except Gary, who starts wearing tinfoil hats, just in case. And yes, he posts selfies online tagging my address every time. Then comes hurricane season, the ultimate Florida wildcard. And wouldn't you know, 3 tropical storms barrel toward us back to back to back. News helicopters circle overhead filming dramatic shots of wind whipping through those wires. Everyone glued to weather apps convinced this is finally when disaster strikes Mango Drive. Those cables could snap any time. Gladys shrieks at HOA meetings. Honest truth. Not so much as a flicker during any storm. But buyers don't care. Perception beats reality every single time. Shelley begs us to consider auctioning instead. Linda snickers openly during broker tour. Gary hosts hurricane parties complete with blackout bingo. First person whose lights go out wins beer. All while every offer now includes language like pending satisfactory EMF inspection or subject to independent environmental review, as if they're buying Chernobyl real estate, not suburban Florida stucco. And then, that fateful Monday morning, I come outside bleary-eyed after another night of doom-scrolling, only to find bright yellow caution tape strung between 2 poles across from my house, and spray-painted right there on my grass strip beneath those humming wires. Kids, shoeprints leading away through muddy puddles beneath a message scrawled big enough for passing cars. Danger, high voltage, do not approach. And as I stand there staring slack-jawed at what looks like a crime scene taped off by ghost children, my phone buzzes with another text from Shelley. Call ASAP. New buyer pulled out after seeing something online. Says they heard there was an accident here last week. Which wasn't true, but by now rumor has become reality, and as I look around at neighbors whispering behind curtains, Gary watching gleefully over his hedge and city trucks rolling up yet again, I realize this nightmare may never end. Because just as I pull out my phone ready to call Shelley back, another message pops up from an unknown number. Want your house gone fast? Some secrets are better left buried.